12 begins here at Sin City, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the diamond in the desert, as we welcome you to the National Sim Racing League Cup Series playoffs. Today, it's the Las Vegas 300. 200 laps around the grueling 1.5 mile trioval, and if the Cup race is going to promise what we see here today, well, we should expect anything and everything. As we say, good evening, friends. Marty Sakala with you, alongside former NASCAR Coke Series driver and Ashton Crowder. Ashton, we've got a good one here at Las Vegas. Multiple grooves around, and this is a track where it can be really challenging, and if drivers get a little bit too much right foot, they will pay.
Yeah, this place is it's really gripped up. It's really fast, but that means all the wear goes to the right rear. So it's even though it has a lot of grip, it's really easy to mess yourself up and spin, and saw that quite a bit in the real life Cup race just last week. So I'm excited to see how these drivers handle it. Thought Landon Lacey was going to get the pole, he didn't. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can bring some of that dominance back and get out front here and pull away.
Let's talk about what happened last week at Bristol Motor Speedway. Absolutely a crazy one to watch. We all thought it was going to be Landon Lacey dominating this race and maybe even putting every driver at least a lap down. And then coming off of turn number 4, his car got a little bit too loose and he overcorrected, and it sent him hard to the outside wall and spinning, ending his day. All 12 drivers in the playoffs are on the entry list for today. We've got a total of 22 drivers ready to race with us here tonight. Currently, Brian Preslar, the quickest in qualifying, with a 29.94 as you watch Kayla McCarthy on track, ready to put her first lap up to the board, and she'll have 1 lap left. Starts things off 11th quick with a 30.155. Only one win for Kayla McCarthy this season. That came at the Auto Club Speedway, and that was before the major update to the next-gen cars to what they are today, Ashton.
Yeah, it's a radical difference, I'll tell you that. Cars went from being really snug, didn't want to turn at all, and you kind of had to try to build that out of it a little bit, but really couldn't. To now, I mean, they are. I can't explain to you how out of control they are. Somebody like me who has a lot of experience driving on here, it's even hard for me to really get a hold of it and understand what's going to do. So it's a big challenge for these guys for sure.
Kayla McCarthy goes 5th quick, while Mark Sikosi goes 18th, and that will do it for qualifying. Brian Preslar takes the pole position with a 29.94 by about 100th of a second over Landon Lacey. With that being said, the drivers are ready to take the green flag. Let's meet the field tonight for the Las Vegas 300. It is Brian Preslar on the pole in the number 67, a pole time of 29.936, and he was off by exactly 100th of a second to Landon Lacey in the 25. Row number 2, Josh Susi, last week's winner in the number 12, looking to break the win record this season. Next to him, David Salter in the 88. Row number 3, Kayla McCarthy in the number 24, and Ryan Chapman makes his Cup Series debut in the 21. Row number 4, Dylan Clark driving the 34, and Alan Crowell in the number 9. Rounding out the top 10 this evening, Tyler Isley in the number 17, and David Smeal Jr. in the 29. The first driver on the inside line, not in the playoffs, Jeremy Zarfels in the number 22, and Josh Aaron in the 77. A look at row number 7, you'll find Don DeGroot in the 20, Briggs Swope in the number 7. Row 8, Jimmy Bart in the number 6, and Justin Dills in the 19. Row 9, watch this row closely, Jaden Bingaman making his Cup Series debut. Mark Sikosi, one of his worst qualifying runs of the season. The outside line will move up a spot as Chris Lynn's our race control director here tonight. In row number 10, you'll find Stan Mayberry in the 99 and Steve Strickmatter in the 51. And rounding out the field tonight, Tom Pera in the number 16 and Robbie Bice in the 28. That is how the field of 22 lines up to begin the round of 12 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Give you the format for today's race. You'll see it once again here on your screen. 200 laps, 300 miles. The stages end at laps 45 and 90. Progressive banking here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. In the corners, you are going the low line 12 degrees, while on the high side 20 degrees. The track seats 116,000, and all drivers have 6 tire sets. As you take a look at your race weather for tonight, here we'll start from dusk to under the lights. 70 degrees, the track temp, very cool weather here as it's set just before 6 p.m. on March 9th. So as we get ready to take the green here, Ashton, who do you like? Who do you think's going to win it here?
I feel like it would be a disservice to Landon if I didn't pick him. So I'm gonna go with Landon. He's really consistent. His cars are always good. He's got a great team behind him. It's a great driver too. So having all those pieces together, he's definitely gonna be hard to beat. But like we saw at Bristol, mistakes happen. It's not guaranteed. These cars are really hard to drive. So he's gonna have to make sure that he puts everything together and stays in it to lap 200.
Landon Lacey also looking for his 7th win of the season, which would tie both Josh Soucy and you as well, Ashton, for the most wins this season in the National Sim Racing League.
Might have to come back in and try to win a few more.
Nah, you're with me for the rest of the season.
That is true, and I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. So the drivers are in turn number 3, ready to take the green flag under the lights here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Who will be headed to the cash-out desk at the end of the night? We are about to find out. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now, with the National Sim Racing League? It is Brian Preslar, playoff contender on the pole, Landon Lacey on the front row, and it is showtime in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. We're green.
Bit of a checkup on that bottom line. A little bit of help here actually, so Brian can keep it somewhat flat here. Might have a good chance to take the lead.
All the drivers on the left of your screen, if they have a yellow box, that means they are in the playoffs. You see the battle for second here between Brian Preslar and David Salter as Lacey got a terrific jump off of 4. Salter thinking about looking on the outside. The Iowa winner, can he make it stick for the lead? Nope. Landon Lacey leads lap number 1 here. Preslar riding it by himself, currently in 3rd position as you ride on board with him. Oh, once again! How in the world did Lacey not get involved in that? Messing up is the Salter machine, and we are under caution for the first time this evening. And we had plenty more drivers involved in that too. I saw Briggs Swope, David Smeal. To the family of Landon Lacey, if you are watching this live stream, get him a new pair of underpants for after this race, because that was a cold brown moment right there. Brian Preslar was just about getting ready to celebrate.
Yeah, Lacey, he didn't get spun, but he did get hit pretty good. He's got a lot of right side damage. These cars do pretty well with that, pretty resilient, but that's still going to hurt the aerodynamic performance quite a bit. So going to have to hope that the guys on pit road can do a good job here and get them fixed up as well as they can.
Lap 1 and 3/4 of a mile in, and it's calamity. Let's show you the replay here. First off, this is what happened with David Smeal. Looked like there was contact and just tried to overcorrect it. Championship contender Briggs Swope is involved. Steve Stripmatter, Jimmy Barr, 26 of Bingerman, and Smeal had a spot where you do not want to hit that opening on the back straightaway, but that just put him to a complete stop. We're going to rewind the footage here and see if there was contact, because he was Tokyo drifting it in 1 and 2 the entire time. And nope, he just lost it by himself.
Yeah, it's important to note, though, David ran the outside there. Even though it's a larger radius, or radii, well, yeah, I guess radius. Anyways, even though it's a larger radius and car's not too upset running up there, it's still the car becomes unloaded really heavy on exit. So once you start winding the wheel out of it and start getting straight, it's the car's at its most vulnerable, and it's it, it can become a handful running up top, and that's exactly what happened.
You saw there Salter catch the wall and come down into Lacey. That car for Lacey, it's so much easier for that car to get out of control via contact. I don't know how that car did not even lose the rear end.
It's one of those rather be lucky than good, I think.
Well, hey, that's how Alex Bowman won, pretty much.
Hey, Alex, he's a nice guy, man.
Absolutely, he is.
We don't have
Really,
to say
he
that.
is.
We don't have to put him down like that.
Hey, I will admit, Alex Bowman, his team, because it's not just about driving, it's all about strategy. And a big credit to Greg Ives and his team on that win Sunday in Vegas. And also the big credit to Bowman for holding off Larson on that final restart. But just a heads up, if you keep talking crap about Alex Bowman, he's gonna make more money thanks to you.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely.
I had the pleasure of being in a Team Valvoline iRacing event with him a couple years back.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've got nothing but good things to say about Alex Bowman.
Yeah, Bowman's a great guy. He really is. From even getting to cover his races at Watkins Glen or just talking with him on Zoom, getting ready for an event, he's a great dude. All right, so we are getting for our first restart of the day. We can tell you Landon Lacey, by the way, did come into pit, and he'll restart from 13th position. The top 12 all stayed out. Some of them drivers that pitted either took fuel or took 4 tires or just decided to repair some damage. Brian Preslar and Josh Susi on row 1. Preslar selects the outside line for this restart. Row 2, Dylan Clark, Kayla McCarthy. Row 3, Tyler Isley and Josh Aaron. Row 4, Alan Crowell and Ryan Chapman. And in the top 10, Justin Diltz and Don DeGroot. As they come into the Speed Demon restart zone, Preslar is the control car as we come back to the green flag, and Susi is caught sleeping. The inside line stacked up that big time there, Crowder.
Yeah, Brian, I think kind of revved a shift there. You can't really miss shifts with a sequential gearbox, but you can miss your shift point. And pretty sure that's exactly what happened there. He's going to have to work pretty hard here to hold him out.
Preslar nearly got the wall there off of turn 2. That helped out Susi get around the corners and take the race lead away as the 34 of Dylan Clark, the KTS teammates, decide to work with each other. Low line seems to be the place to go. Look at the run, the 17 of Tyler Isley. How much momentum he had. I mean, he almost got up to Dylan Clark's rear bumper there, and he almost had to get off the gas on the straightaways. How about that restart there for Isley?
I mean, that's huge. He started 9th. He's already up to 3rd. So
he had a lap that was just over 0.2 of a second quicker than the second fastest car on track.
Yeah, that's the power of being about a quarter way pack, not quite middle of the pack, but quarter way. You get a really good tow, and did a great job working those lanes and getting himself up there.
So after everything that we just saw, 3 drivers are out of the race already from Zarfos, Bingaman, Smeal, and Swope. Isley and Clark continue to battle out for second, the former teammates, I should say. And Isley with the preferred low line, taking away runner-up, and I think he wants the race lead on Susi. Looks to do it around the outside.
I mean, that's a power move right there. You know for sure Susi's going to be a little bit worked up. He's getting past like that this early. But hey, gotta do what you gotta do, and it's exactly what Tyler's doing right there. He's taking the lead.
Something you gotta keep in mind here in turns 1 and 2. You may want the outside over the inside because there is a small section of bumps in turns 1 and 2 that can really affect the handling and the stability of your race car. Isley did that. That helped him out big time, and he's got the lead at the moment.
Yeah, those bumps in 1 and 2 are nowhere near small. They're a pain, especially in real life. You don't really feel it in sim racing through your body or anything, but you know they're there. I don't really know why the track is kind of sunk in where it is there. 3 and 4, it's completely smooth.
How about Landon Lacey? all the way back up to 4th position. He just threaded the needle down the back straightaway. What a recovery after taking some of that optional damage. All he took was I think it was either 4 tires or it was just 16 seconds of optional damage. He's back out there. He's up into 4th position. What a rocket he's got right now.
Yeah, he's not to be played with. He's running 3s right now. Everybody else, I think the fastest car besides him is Isley running a 4, but Isley's up against the wall, so that seems to be a bit of an advantage.
30.17, he's the quickest car at the moment. Dylan Clark, by the way, a fun fact for John Clark in the Twitch, that he was at Las Vegas Motor Speedway this weekend, and after the Xfinity race on Saturday, Dylan drove a stock car for 16 minutes, and John says that was awesome to watch. How cool is that?
Heck yeah.
I would assume.
Would that be like the NASCAR driving experience?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It used to be the Rich Petty driving experience, I think, but yeah, that's what it is now, the NASCAR driving experience. I actually did that back at Charlotte a couple years ago, just to ride along, because I couldn't drive yet. So Lacey's fighting back, looking for 3rd position. Big one right here. Right on board from the rear. Oh, Susie! Hang on to her, Josh. Dirt tracking it in the grass. Mowing Bruton Smith's lawn. He keeps it on the track. No spins. And he falls way back. What in the world happened there? Let's look at the replay.
I believe it's the same thing that happened to, was it Brian earlier?
Yes.
Yeah.
It could have been Salter.
Yeah, it was David. Yeah, there you go. Same thing there. Just come off really, really late exit. The car unloads, and you still have just a slight bit of wheel into it. And this car does not like wheel input at all.
Absolutely. And, I think there was a little bit of too much wheel input there. I think he drove it so much on the exit that just got the rear end sideways on exit. 2nd place on the line, though, still, as Lacey's gotten by Clark, as we've got a driver in the pits. That's David Salter.
Now, I want to point out something that I just witnessed from Lacey in 1 and 2. Went from the wall down to the white line, really was setting up his corner, and on his way down, the transition to get to the bottom of the racetrack, I mean, he might as well have been wrecking. That's how sideways he was. So it's got a really fast car, but it's one that is definitely a handful. So he's going to have to be really careful for the next 180 laps to make sure that he doesn't have the same thing that happened in Bristol happen to him again. And that's going to be something that's in the back of his mind. It's a little mental thing.
Same, too, with the tires of Josh Susie. Something's got to be careful about. How about Robbie Bice in the number 28? Started from the last position. He is up to 6th spot. What a car he's got right now.
He's not playing games. I mean, he's putting down good laps. He's making passes. I think he's in a makeshift Dodge, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
It's nice that you can actually make that happen on here. I'm glad that's the case. But yeah, he's doing a great job of that Monster Energy machine.
A lot of drivers, by the way, have actually turned Fords into Dodges. I think with the rumor that Dodge, I think, either wanted to come back or wanted to show that, hey, we want high horsepower in the sport. I'm not too sure. It was either one way or the other, but look at this. Bice on the outside, and he's up to 5th position. This is impressive. This is only his 9th start. Only has 1 top 10.
And it's not like people are just, you know, putting around out there. You can tell everybody's really driving it, but the kind of lap times he's running right now are very elite. It's 0.2 faster than the leaders, and it's not like he has clean air out there either. He's really having to look around for different lines and having to make something happen. So it's really impressive.
Landon Lacey goes to the point here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway as he clears Tyler Isley, and you've got a new leader. What a charge to get back to the front.
That's really going to put his mind at ease, knowing that even with the damage, he's still able to make moves and get position and get back to the lead. You have an incident like that, it's kind of in the back of your mind, like, well, they might be pretty much over. Might only be able to get a top 5, etc. But yeah.
Isley, hang on to it. We were just on board with him as he was looking on the outside of Lacey, and that car just twitched for a moment. He hung on to it, but now he is stuck in the path of Dylan Clark, who is looking for that runner-up spot.
Yeah, Isley has been making good lap time on the top when he really gets everything hooked up and driving straight. But I just think right now he's a little bit too loose, or maybe he's not running high enough. The closer you get to the wall, the kind of tighter the balance becomes. Your aero balance gets pushed more rearward, so you get kind of a little security thing there. But if he's not going to be running right up next to the wall, he's definitely going to have to think about tightening it up and bringing the balance back a little more forwards.
So Landon Lacey currently the leader as we put 22 laps up on the boards. We'll step aside as we go side by side for the first time tonight here at Las Vegas. Caution flag is out, and Chris Lynn has junked the car. He is actually racing with us. I don't know what is. He's got his fill-in race control working, but we are also hearing that David Salter has crashed. So take a chance here and take a look at the replay and show you what happened.
It's one of those weird ones where you pull down to the bottom and just snaps on you. And
no, Salter was just stopped on the track. Yeah, you're right. He did lose that and pounded the wall in two.
There's an incident quite like that with I think it was Keegan Leahy and man, I think maybe Jarl Tien, but either way, wrecked and kind of tried to stay near the wall like what you'd do in real life, and that's just not something that happens on iRacing, so people don't expect it. Yeah, that was a very unfortunate turn for race there.
This is from Salter's perspective. Just watch the rear view right there. Surprise. That's likely going to end Salter's night. And how about Chris Lynn? Committed on the outside. He knew the car was in the wall. Oh, you know what he thought? He thought Salter was going to keep going down the racetrack. Did not expect him to come back up like that.
Yeah, like because we don't have was it ambulances or anything like that. You don't have to go to an infield care center. Really, nobody ever stops up high. So it's not something that anybody is really going to expect, sadly. Even though it is safer, it's just unfortunate, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So we did have a couple of drivers come into the pits. I believe every driver made it into pit road, and Tyler Isley won the race off pit road. So we'll go back to our commercial breaks. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
One lap until we get the green flag, just approaching nearly 15 laps until stage one comes to a close. And let's reset the field here for you. Tyler Isley is the race leader, winning the race off pit road. Landon Lacey is second as Isley has selected the outside line. Row number 2, Dylan Clark and Robbie Bice. Row 3, Ryan Chapman and Don DeGroot. Row 4, Justin Diltz and Kayla McCarthy. And rounding out the top 10, Josh Aaron and Stan Mayberry. Currently at the moment, 15 drivers stand on the lead lap. And I believe 16 of those drivers remain in the race. We haven't even finished stage one, and we've just about lost a third of the field. So Isley ready to come into the Speed Demon restart zone. And we'll get you back to green for this restart.
Just taking the top.
There
Probably
he
a good
goes.
decision. Definitely was. Got a huge jump.
See if he can come down in front of Landon Lacey, which he does. Lacey's got a car that's built for anything. Right up to that spoiler of the 17. You got Clark up there as well in third. Robbie Bice still hanging up there around the outside. Nice stretch from Lacey. This could be Bice's best chance for a podium spot. He's got it over Dylan Clark. And look at this, by himself around the outside, trying to run the Larson lane in 3 and 4. Can't make a pass stick on Landon Lacey, but Ashton, he's got the draft.
He does. It's gonna be really interesting to see if the draft is strong enough still to pull him up. I don't know if they've made any adjustments to that.
Oh,
Wow,
he
he's
got the wall.
He did, but he still has a run though. So
Yeah, he
they're
did.
gonna be side by side in 3 and 4.
Didn't really lose too much. He's up on that outside. Next time he comes back down. How about another car? Ryan Chapman in the top 5 in the number 10, also in his debut race. He's got a great car at the moment. Almost took away fourth from the blinking Dylan Clark.
Does he not have a hood, or is that just on my end?
You know, I don't like to go to this camera, but we're going to the rear chase camera.
Good call.
He does not have a hood, or that car is extremely glitchy, or that had some damage.
Okay. Wasn't just gonna flat out make a comment on that if you didn't see it as well, but now I will.
Yes.
That's a big deal. Not
Absolutely.
having that.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's making that one work. I really don't. But hey, respect to him.
He does
doing a
have
great
some
job.
damage. I think it was from that first yellow that happened earlier today. But he's still closing in on Lacey for that runner-up position on the track. See how he can deal with this. One taking different grooves here around Las Vegas. Using Isley ride the top, Lacey roll on the bottom, and Bice is just hanging out there in the middle. Lacey, by the way, fastest lap of the race last time by, 31.5.
Yeah, he's absolutely flying right now. I'm surprised how hard these guys are pushing with it being so early, but evidently track position means a lot to him, and you know they're just looking for a mistake.
Oh, the leader! There goes Isley. What a save! The rear end got light. That cost him 2 spots to third. And now Robbie Bice all over Landon Lacey in the battle for the top spot.
See, Landon doesn't have the draft now, so he's going to be in a very vulnerable position here to Bice. Doesn't look like he's going to try to make anything happen in 1 and 2, but should have a pretty good run off of here and going down into 3 and 4.
Pulls up to the door on the exit. A drag race down the Nellis straightaway. And Robbie Bice, for the first time, goes to the point in this race. Robbie Bice has never led a lap in the National Sim Racing League until now. First ever lap he has led in the Cup Series.
I can tell you Landon's probably going to be pretty annoyed at that. Never mind.
Bice got really tight in 2. And Lacey gets the lead right back. So Robbie Bice pretty much just had his 15 seconds of fame. And he's dealing with a tough battle for second position at the moment.
Yeah, I think what happened there was he hasn't really had anybody tucked up on his bumper all night. So as soon as he had clean air, had a lot of front downforce and a lot of turn, as soon as he got a guy behind him, the balance shifted so much that just kind of threw him out of control and kind of just along for the ride at that point, really.
So this is your battle for the runner-up position.
Yeah, after that little wiggle, he's definitely lost the balance here.
Absolutely. Robbie Bice was sending it big time, and it's cost him a bunch. Let's go to another good battle here. It's for 4th position. How about Justin Diltz and Josh Aaron? 5th and 6th, and trying to pass the 34 of Dylan Clark as you ride on board the 19. It's been a rough set. It was a rough 3 races for Justin Diltz in the round of 16. So we take a look at Justin Diltz here, find him here on our stat sheet. Last 3 races, we only had a 3rd at Darlington, but then a 20th at Richmond and an 11th at Bristol.
Yeah, those are just not results you need if you're trying to make a run for the playoffs, but things happen. So it's more important to know how you bounce back more than your past results. You know, even if you don't make the next round, etc. Just knowing that you're able to pull away from that and get back to getting results that you know you can get, it's big for a driver, and they're doing a fine job right now being in the top 5.
Stage ends in just about 6 laps from now. Camden Jester rooting for Tyler Isley, currently in the 3rd position. Appreciate you tuning on in tonight, my man. As you continue to watch this great battle on track. 4 cars all under a blanket in the battle for P4. See, Diltz tried to look to the inside, but Clark slammed the door right in his face.
He's not going to make it easy on Justin.
Absolutely. Not. This time Diltz goes to the inside, the bumpy parts. I think, Clark opened the door for him. And Clark almost, so close to catching the wall there.
I don't know what it is about that turn 2. I don't know if they have a big crosswind there, but they're really susceptible to get into the wall.
3 laps to go in our opening stage. Let's go back and show you who the 10th place running car is, and that is Josh Susi. What has happened to him? We were talking about him in the lead earlier, then he got loose in the grass and saved it, but now he's back in 10th in the battle for a stage point. It's Don DeGroot right behind him in that battle for 10th. Brian Preslar, the pole sitter, also in that battle too.
But even though it didn't really seem like that big of a slide for Susi, you're still putting in anywhere near 100 degrees into the tire when you slide the way that he did. So that is nothing good for the car. And I mean, he's currently spinning out on the apron basically.
P3.
Pretty miraculous save.
Or excuse me, battle for the lead. Robbie Bice inside on Tyler Isley. That's for 2nd on the track. They're nearly 3 seconds back. 2 laps to go, though, in stage 1 as the pits are closed for the rest of the stage. Don DeGroot has taken away 10th position. Josh Susi has fallen all the way back now to 13th and way off the pace.
Diltz and Clark right here throwing haymakers at each other.
This is a great battle, even despite the Dylan Clark. Oh, boy, Diltz That got close. He got loose in 3 and 4 in the center, and that cost him many positions back to 7th, still off to a great start as we are in the final laps of our opening stage. And it's Landon Lacey continuing to do some Lacey things. He laces up those shoes and goes right to work and is always a front runner in that Martin Sports machine. Lacey comes to the green, white checkered flag. He'll pick up the stage 1 victory. And we'll see our first competition yellow out in the race as Landon Lacey takes home the stage 1 win. We'll step aside real quick. Pit stops are coming up in just a moment. Stay with us. It's the National Sim Racing League from Las Vegas. Welcome back here as pit road is open for all the drivers and everybody is coming on into pit road. We will watch the stop of Landon Lacey as he goes for 4 tires and fuel. But I think the interesting question here is Ashton, we know he's got a fast car, but does he decide to repair some more optional damage if he has any? I don't think he has any, though.
Well, I guess we just gotta find out here. We missed this box. That is the 2nd time he's done that. He's been doing too good, so we gotta just slightly knock him down a peg or 2. Gotta be a little bit harsh on him, but
And
no,
that'll cost him
does
the
not
lead
take any.
in the race off pit road. Tyler Isley, and I think it was Robbie Bice over Landon Lacey, and it was Dylan Clark 4th and Josh Aaron 5th. And is something up with Landon Lacey?
got speeding on exit.
Wow.
He wanted P2 fairly bad there.
That's
And,
a huge risk.
Yeah, it really cost him. Let's see how fast he was going. He was going 56 on the exit there.
Wow, we're talking numbers just off. Sometimes iRacing will forgive you if you go up and then immediately if it says slow down, you get back onto it. But Lacey kept it on the gas, and I'll catch him for speeding on pit road because of that. So we'll step aside once more. We'll get back to you for the restart as Tyler Isley will bring them back to green for stage 2 in just a moment.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Back here as we have one lap until we get the green flag to begin stage 2 here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. While we're at it, give us this opportunity to tell you that next week we are at the Big Bad Bold Talladega Super Speedway. Don't miss out and see what the next gen cars can do on the high side and the low side. Start time at 8:45 p.m. on twitch.tv/Mario and the National Sim Racing Facebook page.
It's gonna be real exciting. That hotline works out pretty dang well. Seeing real life and now on here, so it's gonna be interesting to see what kind of teams do what, and if they really work together, or if it's every man for themselves.
Absolutely.
Assume it's gonna be a team game, but really never know.
So stage 2 just about to go green. It's Tyler Isley, Robbie Bison, row 1. Dylan Clark, Josh Aaron, row 2. Caleb McCarthy, Justin Diltz, row 3. Steve Stripmatter, Ryan Preslar, row 4. Mark Sikosi, Ellen Crowell round out the top 10. They come into the Speed Demon restart zone. Isley a little bit too much ahead of Robbie Bice. That's a little interesting. Looked like a Delaware double-like restart. And Robbie Bice was snoring there on that restart all the way back to third and maybe even back to fourth. Josh Aaron looking down to the bottom. He's got that spot away. What in the world happened to the 28 there, Ashton?
It's harder than it looks to restart second in iRacing. The zone, as we'll call it, from where you can fire off to where the green flag drops, it is so large. It's almost borderline impossible to actually get a jump. So a little bit of that, and he definitely was sleeping. Gotta make sure your reaction times are quite low in order to get good jumps off of restarts like that.
How about Josh Aaron in that 77 up to second position by Dylan Clark as Bice takes away third position. Hang on! Ryan Chapman in the back of the field below the white line. Loose off of 2. He saves it though. We go back to the battle for third position between Clark and Bice. Got behind them as well. Justin Diltz on Caleb McCarthy in the battle for fifth position. And Diltz won't have any draft here on the exit because everyone wants to be up next to the barrier of the Dallas straightaway, Ashton.
Yeah, it's a big battle for the top right now. I don't really know if it's better. It's kind of hard to say. With the track being as gripped up as it is here, and being quite cold and not having too much rubber down. Actually, that's a lie. There's a lot of rubber. My fault. They're really looking to get up high, and I'm just not quite sure that's great for the car. But guys like Bice are really able to make it work. Same thing with Isley. And I want to mention this because I think it's really funny. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm fairly sure he's a huge Kyle Larson fan. Probably one of the biggest out there.
You talking about Isley?
Yeah.
I think so. Oh, hang on, Robbie Bice, and hang on, Brian Preslar. Clipping the apron, another driver behind them did. And that other driver was Crowell in the number 9 machine. Again, we continue to stay green. And Tyler Isley, I think he is a Kyle Larson fan. I think you're right on that.
Well, if he is, you can always kind of tell who people are fans of. Same thing goes in basketball. If somebody's a Curry fan, like myself, you're jacking up threes from half court and you're praying. But driving style comes out a lot on here too. So if somebody's a Kyle Larson fan, they're always looking for the wall. And if they're a Kevin Harvick fan, you'll never see them get higher than the apron.
Isn't it ironic, by the way, that throughout most of the series we've had this season, that he had a conflict with someone that was driving a Kyle Larson scheme most of the year?
Now, see, I thought about that, but I wasn't going to make that comment. But that's typically how it goes down. It's always somebody that you notice that you get into some sort of action with. And if he is a Kyle Larson fan, Lord, at this point, talked about it enough. I hope he is. You know, it's just It's like Murphy's Law or something.
Absolutely.
Whatever the law of attraction is.
How about Josh Aaron in that number 77? Oh, trouble. Brig Swope in the 7. It's mowed the lawn at Vegas once again. He's got no front end on that car, but we stay green. So anyway, how about his teammate, though? Josh Aaron at 77, one of his best runs that we have seen so far this season. He is yet to lead a race in the National Sim Racing League this season. Best finish this year was a 4th place finish, and that came at both in the Daytona 300 and in the World 375 at Charlotte. Nice run for him so far.
And as we were talking about him, he pulled down to the bottom trying to get his lane, and I mean, the thing just pulled the left front and came out from under him. Ended up on the apron and saved it, but as we were kind of talking about earlier with Susie, make those slides. It's a lot of heat going into that tire, and it's not gonna end up too well for you. To quote Gigi Hadid, I think maybe it's definitely gonna be quiet for him.
Look at this mess off at turn 2. This looks like the Atlanta Motor Speedway we're going to see next weekend. Not this weekend, but next weekend. You got 7 drivers in this battle for 3rd position, being led by Dylan Clark. All right, we're facing some big broadcast pressure here, Ashton, because Camden just said, are you guys speculating if Isley is a Larson fan?
Well, in my defense, I haven't been here in quite a long time, and I don't need this hate. What I do to you, but I'm assuming that he is. I almost vividly remember him talking about being a Kyle Larson fan like 2 or 3 months ago. So
Yeah.
if he's not, I feel bad.
Me too.
I think
Plus, I'm gonna admit I don't really follow the drivers a lot because normally I am extremely busy doing the stuff I do beforehand that I have to get right into this, so I didn't really have a lot of time to talk with all the drivers and stuff like that. Camden says I can promise you he is not.
Oh, he's not?
Yeah, he's not.
Oh, it was Broderick, wasn't it?
Yep, the guy that
Well.
Isley went against.
Man, hey, listen here. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong.
Absolutely. It's like Kyle Busch. Sometimes the decision to stay out was right, and sometimes the decision to take 4 tires was wrong.
Well, that's salt in the winds. Poor thing.
Landon
If
Lacey. Yeah.
Well, if I was Kyle Busch, I would be breaking things.
Oh,
after that
okay.
race.
Okay, we got something. Dylan Clark, who we got focused on your screen, is a huge Kyle Larson fan. So, there you go.
I mean, who isn't? Let's be honest.
Who isn't?
Yeah, who isn't a Kyle Larson fan?
Chase Elliott fans?
Yeah, I won't cause any controversy today. I'll stick to that. but nah, yeah, well, probably Kyle Busch fans too, honestly.
Nah, Busch and Larson have respect for each other. They're cool. How about Landon Lacey, by the way, recovering after his pit road speeding penalty up into the 4th position. Oh, he just lost it there. That got close.
See, something must have happened to him earlier in the run to heat up his tires. And I know I kind of seem like a broken record saying that, but it's true. Like I was talking about earlier, he's on the edge, as we call it. Is that what front of his car says too? Yeah, perfect. I just set up shop. He's on the edge, pun intended now. So him being in clean air, being able to do his own thing, he's kind of out of control already. But him being in traffic and having to make moves, it's really easy for him to kind of get out of control and slide a good bit. And I'm going to assume that's what he's dealing with now, or maybe the track's just falling away from him and he needs adjustments next stop. But he's making the move for 3rd right now, and he's making it look pretty dang easy.
And Josh Aaron just made the move for the race lead. The number 77 goes to the point at Las Vegas. Isley, meanwhile, having trouble on the high side. And Josh Aaron is trying to storm away from Tyler Isley, the 77 machine, looking to lead his first ever lap in NSRO competition. How about the parity of leaders we've seen so far tonight, Ashton?
Same thing we see in real life. I mean, guys who normally wouldn't be leading are, just off of the performance window of these cars. It's small, but that's what makes it large, if that makes sense. It's so hard to hit. You can kind of get away with not being there. I think we'll see with Lacey being in third now. He's gonna be pretty hooked up. It's gonna be hard to beat to the end of the stage.
He's been running laps that are about like maybe 2 to 4 tenths better than the leaders at the moment. So he is within striking distance of trying to get the lead. I think he'd be within striking distance if not grab the lead by the end of stage 2. We'll see what happens though. But meanwhile, Josh Aaron has currently taken the race lead away from Tyler Isley as Lacey Clark and Strip Matter round out the top 5 and go side by side once again here at Vegas, baby. Wonder yellow. Caution flag is out here as Kayla McCarthy, we believe, has binned it into the wall. You can see there's some front end damage to the number 24 machine. And this is, I believe, our 4th or 5th yellow of the evening.
Yeah, it keeps happening the same way with these guys. Some get lucky and catch it, some don't. Just pulling down, trying to get to pretty much the bottom of the racetrack. I think she was actually trying to run pretty much middle.
This was a 7th place battle on the lines. DeGroot and Chapman get caught up in that one too. So let's show you another angle. See, Chapman was on the inside. McCarthy loses it. Catches Chapman, who makes a nice save out of that. DeGroot gets the wall, and McCarthy's twirling it. It's right on board here with Kayla. That just gets you dizzy looking at that onboard. Pit road, though, open. Everybody's coming in.
Hey, you gotta think with... I haven't had too many cautions, but had a few. The amount of times these guys have pit, if they only have 6 sets, they're gonna be tight at the end of this one. Things keep going the way that they are.
Absolutely. We'll see what happens, and it definitely provides an interesting decision because we're going to have about like maybe 11 laps to go in the stage. Do you stay out between stages 2 and 3, or do you come in? Bad stop for Josh Aaron. Lost 5 spots, overshot his box, Landon Lacey wins the race off pit road, followed by Tyler Isley, Dylan Clark, Brian Preslar, and Steve Strittmatter. Mark Sikosi, who I believe has front end damage, which he does, did not pit. I think he was waiting to see if he could lead a lap or so. But that's interesting there.
They get a bonus point for leading the lap, don't they?
I want to say yes.
Yeah, that would definitely be the play if you don't think you're gonna be too much of a heavy hitter inside the top 10.
So Sikosi will stay out here as, let's see here, will this be 2 to green or 1 to green? We'll take a look. So this is 2 laps to green, so with that being said, we'll step aside and go to break, and when we come back, we'll have the restart for you.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
We are back here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway as we get ready to go back to the green flag. Reset the field here for you. Landon Lacey, the leader, selects the outside line. Tyler Isley next to him in row 1. Dylan Clark, Brian Preslar, row 2. Steve Strittmatter, Josh Aaron, row 3. Robbie Bice, Josh Susi, row 4. And Jimmy Barr, Justin Diltz round out the top 10. Don't forget stage 2 ends at lap 90. They see the control car in the speed demon restart zone. There he goes. We're back to green as Isley's caught sleeping. I tell you something, watch him closely though on this restart. He's really good though, Ashna. Gained the drought, but Clark has other plans. Almost look to the inside where there is pretty much no room at all.
Yeah, Isley definitely has a short run car, so it's gonna be hard for Landon to hold him off, I think, especially with him having the top side and having a bit of an advantage here. To say that he's almost clear, but yeah, it's gonna be very tough for Landon to keep Isley back.
Mark Sikosi in the pits. And the low line's got a big draft in 1 and 2. Dylan Clark, 3rd position. Josh Aaron got up to 4th after his pit road mishap. Preslar, Strittmatter in 5th and 6th position. They're having good runs tonight, especially Strittmatter without a hood at the moment.
This team needs to figure out something with that.
It's
I'd
got to be
livid if
some
that's
sort
it.
of week 13 glitch or so. Nicely again, trying on the outside. See if it works out. It's the draft. You're on board with Lacey from behind. This time Nicely riding the low line. Seems like 1 and 2, you can get that high side to work, but in 3 and 4, the only place to go is low. Oh, trouble behind them. Big one. Bites. Clark, Chapman, and more. It's the big one here at Vegas, folks. Steve Stripmatter went off track. I don't know if he got a piece of that. Brian Preslar looking good. A lot of drivers had to cut through the grass to try and miss that one. See here, Josh Aaron, I think, was he one that got involved? Yes, there's some right rear quarter panel damage to his DraftKings machine.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened there. From an outside point of view, it definitely looks like Josh just randomly decided he was going to try to kill Dylan Clark, but I'm going to assume that didn't happen just for no motive.
Well, let's take a look here. Let's rewind this footage again. We'll stop it here. Here's what it looked like. Oh man, Aaron's car looked like it snapped.
Yeah, it's pretty dang abrupt. I haven't seen a car do something like that in quite a while, but yeah,
Look
I
at
feel like
Robbie
that's
Weiss. That's a tough break for him. Had a great car today.
no kidding. Yeah, he just had nowhere to go. It's
Yeah.
really sad.
Let's try with Ryan Chapman here. He was in the rear of this field trying to miss this wreck. Oh, he just lost it all by himself trying to avoid it. Too much steering. And he pays the price. Let's get a drone shot here.
These cars do not like getting sideways. You get sideways at all, and it's really easy for the thing to just completely snap on you.
Yeah. It's like, oh man, Clark with some hard contact. So this seems like it's just a 4-car accident that took place. Why don't we ride on board with... I'm trying to think here who we want to ride on board with here in that accident. Let's go from Diltz's perspective, as he was one that had a close call. Wow! Look at those guys. Like they're rally car racing or something. Almost got into Preslar, and you gotta be careful when missing that wreck in the grass, because when you hit that grass, it's like you're picking up so many miles an hour. At the same time as well, drivers can't go through the pits because obviously they'll get closed and you could get a penalty for entering pit road illegally.
Does race control clear those if you have to go down pit road to avoid?
I would assume they would, yeah, because all they're just trying to do is miss a wreck.
Yeah, our race director in the Coke Series, Tyler Hudson, he would clear our black flags if we had to go down pit road to avoid. I'm pretty sure, or maybe didn't. Actually, thinking about it, thankfully for me, I never had to go down pit road to avoid a wreck. I had to go to the grass a few times, but I'm pretty sure it said in the rule book that that those would be cleared. But either way.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we'll have a couple of laps left here in the stage. So as we take a look at the field here, Stripmatter is up to 3rd. Preslar is up to 4th. Susie, by the way, missed the wreck, and he's back in the top 5 after fading back a lot earlier in this race. We can tell you as well that Ryan Chapman went a lap down. Same with Dylan Clark and Mark Sikosi. Robbie Bice also, he's stuck in the pits at the moment. But a lot of good cars in that one taken out. That's a tough break.
Yeah, but you talk about Susi though. He was having those handling issues early. Them getting a pit stop or two in there. It's gonna be pretty cool to see if he got those problems sorted out. Put a little bit of left rear air pressure, right front air pressure, try to get the thing tightened up, and see if he can set sail here.
So ready to go back to the green flag. Lacey, Isley, Preslar, Strip Matter, Susi the top 5. Diltz, Crowell, Barr, DeGroote, McCarthy, 6 through 10. Here we go. Lacey fires, and we're back to green. Now let's watch Isley closely here on this restart as we have 6 to go in the stage. And I bet you he wants a stage win badly for a playoff point.
I would say that all of these guys are pretty hungry for a playoff point. Any points matter, so.
Well, the drivers in first through third aren't fighting for a stage point, but they're looking for as well those bonus points to help them out in the regular season standings. As there goes Isley inside for the lead. You know how much he loves those cars on the restart. But Lacey on the Larson lane. Better exit. He's blocking. And look at that. That could cost him second spot. Here comes Strip Matter on the bottom.
Yeah, that put Isley in a very vulnerable position. It's honestly really lucky they didn't get wrecked there. We're being totally honest. It's not really a move you typically want to make, but stage points are a big deal. Always are. You know, it's kind of out of necessity at that point.
Here comes Brian Preslar, the pole sitter, looking for third on Strip Matter. How about the run for Steve so far? From 20th up into the third position. Definitely taking good advantage and having better car control than a lot of these other drivers. Susi may start to fade back. Here comes Justin Diltz on the inside.
Oh man, Steve, we haven't talked about him at all really, and that's honestly a good thing. Seems counterintuitive, but at least you're talked about, the better your race is going, and just means you're not in a ton of crazy action, which is really good. But
does have
he's doing a heck of a job.
Does have a right side scuff, but as of right now, still with the great car at the moment as Lacey continues to lead, half second the distance, 3 laps to go in the stage. Final stage point would currently go to Josh Aaron. Has a 4.5 second lead over Kayla McCarthy. Diltz looking to get by Susi meanwhile for P5, and Diltz has it. Almost though. Susi nips him at the line, better exit. 2 to go in the stage, pits are closed. Now for third, Preslar by Strip Matter as Isley's gone back by as well for second spot. They're trying to close in on Lacey.
Susi's doing a great job holding back my man Justin Diltz here. He's a really good driver. Doesn't always have the best cars. Just not consistent on that front of things, setup and whatnot, but always does a great job driving, and he's showing it right here.
So white flag is out. 1 lap to go in the stage. Isley, though, getting closer and closer. Was faster by 0.06 of a second last time out. But I don't think it's going to be what it takes to get to Lacey, though. Needs to hope for a Lacey mistake.
Knowing Isley, he's gonna be pinning this thing, and Lacey actually took his lane away.
Oh,
so
Isley's got to
make it
run,
close.
though. Isley's got to run, though. Isley gets by for the stage win. I think Lacey slowed up just to give Isley a playoff point, though, but at the same time, you're doing some little bit of dirty work to a former teammate. I don't know, though. But Tyler Isley wins stage 2 and picks off a playoff point. We'll step aside and go to break. Pit stops coming up shortly. Stay with us.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
We're back here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and pit stops are about to take place after the end of stage number 2. Everybody's in.
These guys take tires, like I'm pretty sure they will, and it is going to make it quite close towards the end of this thing if we keep having cautions, which how this car goes, pretty sure we will.
Appreciate James Miller tuning on in, rooting for Mark Sikosi tonight.
Yes, sir. Where is Mark? What's he been doing? I haven't really seen him.
He's been a back marker pretty much this entire race. Not the race he wants. He's in 14th. Well, I mean, pretty much via pit stop order right now. So,
dang.
Isley edges Lacey out in the race off pit road, followed by Preslar, Barr, and Susie, the top 5. So Tyler Isley will bring them back to green when we come back. Final stage in just a moment. We're back here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Las Vegas 300, the National Sim Racing League. Stage 3 coming up in just a couple of moments. And you will see Tyler Isley out in front as the race leader, your Stage 2 winner. We should get one more lap here before we go back under the green flag. And while we are at it, Ashton, just what are you expecting here in this final stage here? Do you think we'll see a long run with green flag pit stops possibly being a strategic move? Who knows?
You would hope so. This race has had a lot. It's a lot to digest, so the only thing they need now to check off pretty much all the boxes is a green flag pit stop. So have to see. It's been pretty tough for these guys to hang on to these cars. Like I was saying earlier, I mean they are crazy out of control. So
as of right now, I think drivers have just about 1 to 2 more stops to make it to the end, I'd assume. So
yeah, it'd probably be somewhere near 50 laps. So it's actually strategy-wise, knock on wood, if it goes green till the end, it is going to be quite tough for them, and they might have to stretch it a little bit. So that'll be interesting to see.
absolutely. So as we get ready to come back to green, Tyler Isley, Landon Lacey in row 1. Jimmy Barr, Brian Preslar, row 2. Josh Susie, Don DeGroot, row 3. So we're back to green. What a restart for Tyler Isley. Landon Lacey caught sleeping there. How about Jimmy Barr in the number 6? Up into 3rd position. Had a great stop, and he is up into P3 as there's a run from Josh Susie on the outside looking for 4th on track.
Yes, sir, Jimmy Barr is one of my PA boys. I'm not from PA, but I love that place. Got a lot of great memories there. So I always got to root for somebody from PA.
Loves to support the Pennsylvania posse in the Outlaws. Susie's all over him. Tries to look on around and stack up amongst the outside with Preslar and DeGroot. Strip Matter trying to take advantage into his hands, looking for 6th on track. Preslar looking on Susie. Susie shuts the door though, cuts the air off.
Yeah, Susie's definitely having to play a lot of defense right now, especially on these restarts. Once he gets a little strung out as this run goes on, he won't have to do that quite so much, but he's still going to have to really be on his toes.
Trying to find a way to go around the outside of Jimmy Barr as he ride alongside Josh Susie. Had a rough car in terms of handling in the opening 2 stages, but thinks he has found something. He took advantage of missing that big wreck that happened just before the ending of stage number 2. Susie trying around the outside here. Doesn't work from on the entry. Preslar trying to take advantage.
It's a, what do they say? It's a bee's nest, something like that?
Hornet's nest, yeah.
Yeah, hornet's nest, there you go. They are, they're stacked up right now, and this is where you expect your car to kind of completely go away, having different bits of air around you and stuff getting pretty turbulent. It's a Little John song with Steve Aoki, Turbulence, but bet you didn't expect that one. But no, not at all. I bring them out from left field, but
yes, you do.
yeah, they're doing a great job hanging on to it. I know if I was oh my goodness, I can't think of his name, Brian. If I was Preslar right there on the bottom, I would be scared to death of Susie being on my outside, but he doesn't seem too scared. He seems to be staying in it, so good for him.
Halfway home. Run on the inside, Lacey, battle for the lead is on.
It makes you think a little bit how much these guys were really trying in those first 2 stages. Not saying that they were sandbagging. I know that's kind of controversial, but the advantage that they have over the rest of the field right now, running the different lines that they are, it's just it's kind of unbelievable.
Oh, I think we have someone scrape the wall. Thought I heard someone tap the wall, but Strip Matter got by Preslar, by the way, for 5th position. Let's go back to the battle for the lead, though, between Isley and Lacey.
Yeah, just to inform our viewers what happened there. Preslar, I believe it was, yeah. He got a little bit loose 1 and 2 and basically had to track it all the way up to the wall and kind of used it as a Napoleon Dynamite little bowling shot with Cup. So did a pretty fine job not spinning out with that one.
Lacey trying to go around the outside on Isley. Oh, Lacey nearly clipped the wall there. Don't see any sparks, but gets oh so close, riding next to that safer barrier, trying to ride the Larson lane. How tough was it for you back when you were driving in the Coke Series? Oh, hang on. Isley lost it in the entry of 1, and Lacey goes to the lead. He had the exact same issue, I believe, if I recall correctly, back in stage 1.
Yeah, that's just going to be a general just property of his car, or behavior of his car. No matter how tight you make these things with how they are aero-wise and how kind of, as we would say, on the front tires they are, or the front end anyways, the thing is very, very snappy no matter what you do, unless you get it built out of there mechanically and aero-wise. But
That car almost got out of control. Brian Preslar is in the pits. I don't know what happened, but we'll go back to a replay and see what happened. Oh, he lost it in turn 2. Oh, he went around. Oh, pounded the inside wall. Well, inside the top 5. That is not what he wanted at all. He was having a great day as well.
yeah, so what kind of happened there is Susie got loose in front of him, and you can kind of think about somebody being sideways in front of you as just like a bigger airplane being out there compared to a smaller one. Like a small one's still going to break up air, but it's not going to be quite as detrimental as a big one. It's a very extreme example, but it's pretty much the same thing. So if somebody gets sideways in front of you, the air is just incredibly turbulent. And O'Brien, he was having a rough time with the handling of his car anyways, so having Susie get sideways in front of him was just extremely detrimental, and sadly the result ended up the way that it did.
Isley's back up there with the 25 of Lacey in the battle for the race lead, who got a little bit loose on entries. I think that time he diamonded the corner on the exit. Yes, he did. Tries to close in. Let's see if he makes a run to the inside. There he goes. Looking for the lead. What an exit from Tyler Isley to set that pass up. And he's back out front. Oh, and Lacey crosses it over. This is Las Vegas racing at its finest, folks.
And I think the most impressive part of this is they're not only in the lead here, they're battling quite hard at that, but they're still fastest by almost half a tenth a lap.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, that's crazy. Last time by, Landon Lacey was at a 30.73. Jimmy Barr was driving a 31.12.
yeah, I mean, these guys are just on a totally different level. Which isn't saying that anybody else out here isn't good, but they've got it hooked up. And
That time
going the way
Lacey was
they
a
want.
half second quicker. Oh, hang on, Susie. Clips the apron. Can he save it? Yes, he can,
Wow.
thanks to a little bit of banking. Man.
That was a Kyle Busch Daytona save. Right there.
Kyle Busch Las Vegas save.
Did he have one in Las Vegas too?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. We definitely know more about NASCAR than I do with that kind of stuff. I only know the big moments, but yeah, it's a Kyle Busch-esque move there for sure.
Relegates him back to the 9th position. As meanwhile, Strip Matter and Barr battling for the lead. Excuse me, that's for 3rd on track.
Well, Lacey and Isley were coming up on a lap car. I think it was Caleb McCarthy, if I'm not mistaken. And down the back straightaway, Isley said, "You know what? This is my position." And just, I mean, by inches cleared Kayla and almost got into the back of Lacey, and that could have been extremely catastrophic.
That car is Kayla McCarthy. Oh, trouble. Josh Susie has spun it around, and the yellow is out. The car finally lost the car, and that is in turn 2. And that's engine damage for the 12 machine. Man, that's huge for the man that came in with the most playoff points. Luckily, he's got those playoff points, and he's done for the evening. Let's see what happened here.
Oh my goodness. See, thankfully I can kind of chuckle at hits like that. But yeah, if this was in real life, that would not be a joking matter. But
It's
wow.
Yeah.
He came off that wall very, very quickly.
It's absolutely, yeah. Man, oh man. Again, running in the 9th position. Las Vegas is continuing to take people out.
I mean, I've been telling people for a long time, it is a very, very, very hard racetrack to get yourself wrapped around.
Seventh
do the right
caution of the
thing.
evening, and we are seeing some strategy happen. Tyler Isley, Jimmy Barr, and Dylan Clark are the only ones in the pits. Now let's see what happens here if Isley decides to go for 4 tires and fuel. We'll watch his stop here. That would give him 25 laps just about of fresher tires.
Looks like he's gonna get beat off pit road.
Yeah, he overshot his box. And I think, I don't know, that was close. I think Isley just got Barr. You see, the pit road here at Las Vegas is unlike any other pit road. It is a curved pit road all the way around, just like a curved monitor at home. All the way through pit road, you are constantly turning left and left and left to get on out of the pits. So that is what happened. That's how Isley got help thanks to the angle there. So 25 laps of fresher tires. Let's see if that helps out for him. But Landon Lacey, meanwhile, out in front. Will step aside. Be right back.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Lights are out 1 lap until we get the green flag. We've got 85 laps to go here at Las Vegas. A couple of drivers came into pit road last time by, including Tyler Isley, who's had perhaps one of the best cars here today. And we'll see if this is a strategy move that helps him out. This is what we have here, his 5th stop of the race. Well, we can take the chance here and see if we can compare the pit strategy amongst the top 10. And we can take a look at it by pit stop time. Gives us a better idea of what they've done. Isley has done all 4 tire stops in this entire race. Same with Landon Lacey. And I believe, except for Landon Lacey, one of his stops was a fuel-only stop. So keep that in mind as well.
I mean, if you're down there, you might as well get them.
Absolutely. They've each used, I believe, 4 sets of tires at the moment. So as we come back to the green flag with Landon Lacey out in front. Great restart. Strip Matter was caught sleeping, but an interesting question. Will they get him for changing lanes? That looked a little bit close there, Ashton.
It definitely did. I mean, really, at that point, you just kind of got to pray. There's really nothing you can do. And if they do call him for a penalty, then you just got to essentially just man up and deal with it. And make the best you can of what you got.
Absolutely. Isley, by the way, up to 6th position on that restart. Where did he restart again? 9th?
Somewhere around there, yeah. He was pretty far back there.
I don't know, but so far. Oh my goodness! Gets by Josh Aaron, 3 wide, looks to get around Justin Dilts. Tyler Isley. My goodness, man, he's got something that South Park would say.
He's going to have to be careful, though, because he's got newer tires, so it's a little bit easier for him. But these guys just aren't really going to be expecting those huge moves.
Up into 3rd and looking to get by Stripman. What a run. Holy moly. Up to 2nd in just about 3 laps or so. Well, I mean, it kind of helps as well when there's 10 drivers on the lead lap.
That's right. Yeah.
10th of a second faster. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Now, if he had to start from like 15th or 20th or even further back than that, would have been a very sketchy strategy call. But so few cars being on the lead lap, I mean, it's pretty done deal. Come down and take 4.
James Miller having a little bit of fun rooting for Mark Sikorsky and says Tyler Isley sucks. And says Camden Jester loves Isley bum and run his butt. I'll be racing next week. I missed this week. I'll be putting on a show next week. I'm a good plate racer. Well, we'll see what happens at Talladega next week. 80 laps to go.
Like to hear it.
2/10 faster, just about last time by for Tyler Isley over Landon Lacey. And it looks like the closest battle is right here for 3rd between Strip Matter and Barr.
Yeah, Steve's really working right now. He's running that middle groove. Barr, I feel like, has new tires too. Yeah, I'm going to assume he's got a lot of grip, but either way, he's having to work hard to keep him behind, and it's not enough, sadly, for him.
Absolutely. So Jimmy Barr takes away the 3rd position. And Jimmy Barr, by the way, looking for his first podium since New Hampshire, which was actually the last time you were in the booth with me. Came so close to a top 3 finish, and he's been having a great run so far today. Remember, Darlington, he was looking for that 3rd place finish in a battle with, if I recall correctly, it was Ryan Preslar, but then the 2 got into it. If not, it was Briggs Swope. It was with one of the DraftKings drivers.
Maybe I'm a good luck charm for him.
Could be, who knows?
Well, if he wins, then we'll definitely know.
Absolutely. Tyler Isley, half-second faster. Here comes Jaws on Landon Lacey. Look at this run on the outside for the fresher tires.
It's making it look easy up there. Look at him. Middle lane. He's got hooked up.
Now he's got to be careful, though, if he runs out of tires and we get a yellow, say with like maybe 20 to go or something like that, and Landon Lacey can pet, he'll be closing in on nicely. So just keep that in mind, folks. Oh,
man.
He lost it off of 2. Driving it so hard already. Come on, man. You got fresher tires. Just take it easy.
Yeah, that's where you would like to have either a crew chief or a spotter kind of telling you what your situation is and what you kind of need to do. Even the best need to be coached. It's just how it is. You know, shout out to my man Steve Kerr. But if I'm a crew chief or spotter, I'm telling him like, man, you got fresh tires. Just run the bottom, kind of deal with it, and just pull away little by little. And seems like he got the memo right there.
Absolutely. 10th is the gap right now. Let's go to another good battle. Josh Aaron, Steve Stripmatter. How about Aaron recovering after getting involved in that big wreck? Up into looking for 4th position. Again, a 4th place finish would tie his best finish in National Sim Racing League, which happened twice earlier this year.
position Josh is in right now, he knows he has damage, but essentially you just got to put it into the back of your mind and act like it's not there. Kind of out of sight, out of mind sort of deal. That's what he's doing. He's doing a fine job. I mean, getting up to P4 with the damage that he has, it's a pretty big deal.
Lacey looked to the inside on Isley for the race lead, but tucked it right back in line just so he can get that draft. Let's ride on board here with Lacey.
And you see him, he's trying his absolute best to stay as low as he can for as long as possible. And he feels like it's gonna be the best move for him to keep Pete out of the tires. It's definitely working out for him because even with the advantage that Isley has, not really seeming to matter. I think he got the wall there.
May have actually, I'm not too sure. Got him to the draft, nearly bump drafted him. Isley just gets on the gas first. Remember, Landon Lacey, by the way, oh so close to not talking about him right now in this battle for the race lead. If you remember on lap number 2, you see that right side scuff? Got it from David Salter after he got loose off of turn 2. They were battling for the lead. Made contact with Landon Lacey as well in that situation. And somehow Lacey did not even spin the car out.
Yeah, he took the hit like a champ. There wasn't even any movement out of his car either. So, I mean, probably didn't even realize that he actually did get damaged until came down to pit road.
We'd have to call him LFL for that. Top to mid, according to James Miller, looks faster. Would you agree with that?
You know, I know this is going to be a controversial thing to say watching Isley, but I really don't think it is. I think more than anything, it's just kind of evening out the draft for Isley. He has such a run coming off the exit that, it's not really a run, but his mile per hour is higher. So as they get further down the straightaway, he's not really getting ate up as much as he would if he ran the bottom. So I feel like it's kind of out of necessity at this point for Isley. But like you'll see as the run goes on, with him running up there and there not being a ton of rubber, his rears get really hot and he gets really loose. And you kind of have to make a decision as a driver there. You're either going to stick to the top and just deal with it, or go back to the bottom and just hope for the best, and he sticks to the top the whole time. So really, anything that I'm saying right now might not be accurate whatsoever. But
it kind of reminds you a lot of, if you go back to the real-life 2005 Cup Series season, we saw a lot of photo finishes take place at Atlanta and Charlotte. You can even go to Las Vegas as well in 2006. Go back to Atlanta in 2005. Carl Edwards made a high side pass on Jimmy Johnson off of turn 4, had the banking to his advantage, and Edwards got his first career Cup Series win. In the Coke 600 in 05, Bobby Labonte got outrun by Jimmy Johnson when he learned from Carl Edwards to get the win in the 600. And then in 2006, the final Cup race at Las Vegas before this track was reconfigured to its current state, Jimmy Johnson used a high side pass on Matt Kenseth to get the win, and Jimmy only led one lap in that race.
oh, Jimmy Johnson, how we miss him.
Boom confetti.
That's right.
Ryan Chapman, by the way, in the pits saying the number 21 machine. He said he had a good car early on before getting caught up in that wreck in stage number 2, currently in the 11th position. Let's look at another battle on the track, so we can check that battle for the lead. Sorry, these two guys just keep getting side by side. I want to watch action all over the rest of the track, but these guys just want to keep going at it.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that Landon does have a car that's more hooked up for longer. With as fast as this car is, it's definitely going to be putting a lot of heat into the tires, but balance-wise, it's more or less staying the same. It might actually be set up a little bit tight to start the run, and that's what's kind of propelling him here. I know in real life, with the Gen 6 stuff, the guys would be set up, I mean, almost wrecking loose to start the run, and I mean, they'd be plowing tight, ending it with how they ran their nose weight and stuff. But seems to be quite the opposite with this car.
Lacey uses Kayla McCarthy, his teammate, as a pick. That affected some momentum for Isley there for a moment. Good move, absolutely, right there. Isley probably the only one that hated out of that.
Yeah, he's had a few issues with Kayla trying to get around her on the back straightaway, but I mean it didn't really seem to affect him too terribly much, but he's definitely going to be annoyed.
Absolutely. James actually says Jimmy Johnson was his second favorite driver. Dale Sr. number 1. Praise hell, praise Dale.
That's right.
Jimmy Barr looking to take away third position, but back at it for the lead. Isley leads on Lacey at the line with a high side pass. How many different lead changes have we had in this race? Oh, man, Isley way loose. I don't know how that car did not spin out.
I don't.
Gave us a heart attack there. I thought he was even taking Lacey with them.
That's what I figured too. Glad that he didn't, but man, he's gonna, for as long as this run's going to last, he's gonna be really struggling. I don't know. I feel like he should run the bottom here. I really do. I think him running the top is really pushing the balance to the rear tires, and it's not helping at all.
Thanks to them, I can actually watch the battle for. Nope, I can't. Isley keeps getting closer. Jimmy,
No, maybe.
I wish iRacing could give us a split screen mode. I wish I had a second PC so I could do that.
You gotta invest a couple thousand for it.
I've already
What
invested
iRacing's
so much money into a direct drive wheel, man. That's not even here until July. I gotta wait.
I feel that. Well, this is coming back on the bottom. See if he can actually get something done down there. He's put all of his efforts into the top. And no, he is. Well, actually, no, he's keeping pace pretty good. He's gonna get passed though by the top side, but yeah, I mean that didn't look too bad.
Yeah,
That didn't look
absolutely.
too bad.
Gotta go to break though. Sorry, folks, but we gotta pay the bills. So, gonna go side by side and watch this battle for the lead between Lacey and Isley. Stay with us here at Vegas. .55 laps to go here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway as you're continuing to watch the battle for the race lead between Tyler Isley and Landon Lacey. Lacey had put up a good gap earlier, Ashton. However, though, Seemed like we thought Lacey was going to have a better lead, or we thought Isley was using up his tires, but Isley still finding a way to close in.
I think a lot of it right now has to do with the draft, kind of keeping him in tow, because I'm assuming it hasn't really changed too much since the last time I've driven this, but draft used to be pretty dang strong, even with the low downforce stuff, but yeah, he's on strong right now. It's really giving him some work.
Absolutely. Again, on the outside, he's taken a lot of risks there. It's worked many of the times, but other times he's just gotten really loose. Has been lucky enough to save it.
I mean, it's to the outside of him again. Like, I didn't think that the outside was that quick, but now I'm... Oh, Lacey's gone.
Yeah, now we're thinking about that.
Yeah, wow. It's treacherous, but now I'm kind of having to eat my words there because he's making up a ton of time. Late exit, getting those rounds off the top.
Isley goes back to the point. These two have been going back and forth, blow by blow. And I guess what you could say as of right now, as we're approaching the final 50 laps, the second best battle of the season so far between these two. If you're wondering what the first was the Christmas Classic 200 at Iowa, which was just extremely crazy in the final few laps.
Great track, Iowa.
Oh yes, absolutely is. Isley on the high side powers by and has the lead. Justin Diltz in the pits for what should be his final stop of the race. He's still trying to fight it back on the bottom.
See, the advantage that Isley and Lacey have right now is they are so far out in front of anybody else. They can wait 6 or 7 laps until they actually have to pit.
Yeah.
I mean, they can even wait longer than that, really. They're going to have such an advantage still, so they can just bide their time out there and see how the strategy's going to play out.
Lacey edges Isley at the line, another new leader. We will take a look at the end of this race, the lead changes that we have seen tonight. What should we put the spread at right now at the moment? I would say we would put this at like, I want to say like 48 and a half or something. Maybe even more than that. Maybe like 58 and a half. Does that work, 58 and a half? Lacey's coming in, by the way. So
that was a very conservative stop.
So because Lacey is coming on in, I'm going to set the spread here at 48 and a half. You want to go under or over?
I'm going to go with under. I don't think it's been that much.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Okay. I'll take the over. Why not?
Yes, sir. And if it's dead on the money, then both of us can feel bad or something.
No, I set 48 and a half. There won't be 48 and a half lead changes.
Oh, that's true. Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
Never mind. Well, hey.
See, this
Like
is
I
what
said, you can't win
happens.
them all.
This is what happens when states start to legalize mobile sports betting. Lacey, nice stop for him though. 15:36, 15:32 on pit road. Now I'm curious here. How long does Tyler Isley wait on worn tires? Because I mean, there was a 25 lap sequence, and at this point, these are 40 lap older tires for Landon Lacey. 40 lap fresher tires for Landon Lacey at the moment.
It's going to have to come in sometime soon. I don't really think it's going to be in his best interest to stay out too long. Good rule of thumb is 2 over, 2 under. So 2 laps before or 2 laps after.
Yeah.
But he's crossing that mark right now. It doesn't seem like he has any signs of letting up, so it's gonna be
You think he's gonna go the entire distance and try and see what he can do with 25 lap fresher tires? Because at the same time, here's the deal: what you're risking. You're risking as well the time that's being lost on track that Landon Lacey is obviously gaining. And then at the same time, on your pit exit, you're losing horsepower compared to the driver of the 17.
Let's see.
Compared to the driver
Okay.
of the 53, excuse me, or 25.
Well, let's do a little bit of a strategy calculation here. So it takes about, let's see, 20. Okay, ran two pretty much the same lap times back to back. Okay, so it takes about 30 laps for the tires to even out. So you could make that work. It would be very tough to gain all that. Well, now he's in the wall, so that's gonna make him rethink some stuff. You could make that work, but it's gonna be very sketchy.
As of right now, I'll tell you this, that Isley is losing a second to Landon Lacey per lap.
Yeah, so he's going to continue to lose that, and that's gonna build up over and over and over again. What he's gonna have to hope is that Lacey doesn't have draft, which he definitely doesn't, from what I can tell anyways. Yeah, he's got clean track in front of him. So he's going to have to hope that he has 0 draft and that he's pushing hard to try to keep some sort of pace. And he falls off a lot sooner than he did in the previous run, and that's going to build up a decent, or that's going to not allow him to build up as much of a gap as he probably should.
Right now, I have Tyler Isley as 38.5 seconds quicker, or excuse me, 38.5 seconds faster. I'm sorry, 39.5 seconds ahead of Landon Lacey. Pit times are just about 45 seconds on pit road. So at this moment, I think Tyler Isley at this point on, he has to bank on a yellow to come out. Because if he gets that yellow, that will help out the top 3 and Landon Lacey. Because Landon Lacey will get the free pass. He will go to the end of the longest line for the restart and trap everyone else a lap down. So I think if I'm Isley, Barr, and Clark, I'm banking on a yellow.
Well, we were talking about tires earlier. That's probably a good thing to think about too, to put into the hat, is he might only have 1 set left, Isley. And if that is the case, he's not going to want to take that one too early. So in his mind, and I would say he's probably right with this, he would rather push really long and maybe lose a spot from, just staying out for as long as he is, than he would come in when he probably should have and have a caution late and lose like 5. So I'm assuming that's probably where his head is on this. It looks like he's coming down this time. No, he's not. He just ran a really awkward line there.
Yeah, so this is not, I honestly don't see this is looking good for Tyler Isley. I don't know if he realizes that he is losing 1 second per lap to Landon Lacey.
I would assume he does know. Unless he's just really oblivious to.
Because I mean, they don't really. Because I mean, in the third-party spotter packs or even the iRacing spot, it doesn't tell you how much quicker Landon Lacey is. Or the 4th place car now is quicker compared to you know what I mean? You have to really look at your black box, the F2 standings, really close to see how much time you're losing.
Well, yeah, Well, oh man, he is really out of control right now, Isley is. But you don't get that information really, but from like your pre-race preparation, you kind of know, and you kind of just have in your mind like, okay, this is how much faster he's going to be for X amount of time. At least that's what I do. I actually don't know if many people do that. I would assume so. But if they're not doing that, it's probably something to look into.
Absolutely. James Miller thinks he's going to try and pit around lap 170. What do you think?
I think, yeah, at this point he's going until he runs out, which if that is 170, then that's going to be his mark.
Jimmy Barr, by the way, is entering pit road. Here he comes. Isley's entering pit road. Got to be careful here on your pit road entry. Right there. Speed limit 45, or is it 50?
It's 50 now. Yeah.
And Isley's at 55. Isley is at 55.
I think he's completely out of gas. Maybe not.
Nope, the engine's still running.
Well, he was
But I
he
had
was
on my
slowing down,
yeah,
speeding up at a weird rate.
I had on my speed at 55 miles an hour. So and unlike NASCAR, iRacing doesn't give you a 5-mile-an-hour allowance. So Landon Lacey did jump Tyler Isley, and we'll check the gap here. Just about even on pit road time, 45:42 to 45:43. It was just all about the pit stop. It was all about, really, the fact that Landon Lacey was better on fresher tires to worn tires, obviously. And so the gap at this moment to Tyler Isley is like 12 seconds at the moment. And Josh Aaron, by the way, who pitted on the same lap as Landon Lacey, jumped Tyler Isley until now. So Dylan Clark, by the way, for those wondering, is the only driver who is yet to make his final stop amongst the front rows. Caleb McCarthy and Mark Sikosi, correction, are also some of the drivers that have yet to pit. So, anyway, we've got just about 32 laps to go here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It is Dylan Clark, currently your race leader at the moment. When we come back, we'll take you right to the finish. So stay with us here at Vegas. We are back here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, just under 30 laps to go. Dylan Clark, currently the race leader. He is yet to pit, and Landon Lacey is on the charge for the race lead, and he is really loose. Lacey about to take the race lead away from Dylan Clark in a couple of moments. Can tell you, by the way, Tyler Isley's lost a lot of time to Landon Lacey, about 10 seconds at the moment, despite 13 laps of fresher tires. He is faster by just about 0.3 of a second. But I don't think with all the time we have left in this race here, Ashton, that Isley will be able to close in.
Nah, at this point, there's basically no way. Well, let's see. I think, I think Isley had draft there, so he actually caught up quite a bit. But it's gonna take lap cars being in good spots for Isley, getting
Oh,
draft.
trouble, trouble. Kayla McCarthy stopped it in turn 2, turn 4. Waiting to see what happens here, if she'll tow it or what. No yellow is out yet. This is kind of a hazard on the track, though, Ashton.
I'm I'm very confused.
Me too. And there's the yellow flag. Landon Lacey does not want that yellow at all. Oh my! We're gonna have to watch the onboard here. I don't know what happened. She was out of fuel. Remember, she had not pitted since lap 114. She ran out of fuel and did not have enough to make it into pit road.
That's kind of not trying to call her out, but it is kind of mean to not reset when you know you're not going to be able to get back.
I don't know if she wants a push or what, but either way, unless her reset button's like broken, Dylan Clark comes into pit road, and this is going to be interesting now because Landon Lacey has a set of tires left. Tyler Isley does not. Now the race game gets interesting.
Yeah, that's all but going to give Lacey a free pass to the win here.
Unless are we thinking, because James Miller's talking about some messages, unless we're thinking here that McCarthy stopped on track to put Landon Lacey into pit road to get that fresher set because they knew Isley didn't have any sets remaining, and then restart in row 2 and have fresher tires by about 11 laps and go for the win. What are you thinking?
Well, I wouldn't say that she did it intentionally, because I don't want to accuse anybody of that.
Because, I mean, we would not have had any more yellows in that race, obviously. So, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think Lacey pretty much had it locked up in the position that he was in. So, I don't know. I don't really think you would want to put him in a vulnerable position. Because, I mean, you got to think about it now. I'm not trying to wish him any bad luck here, but it'd be pretty easy for something to go wrong for him and him wreck somehow. So I don't know. My teammate did that. I'd be more annoyed than anything, honestly. I wouldn't want to be back there.
Absolutely. So now Lacey, by the way, came out in second spot. In fact, all the drivers that are currently on the lead lap all have fresher tires than Tyler Isley. So this was, I guess you could say this was the yellow Tyler Isley did not want to see.
Is Lacey P3?
Lacey is P2 right now.
Oh, man.
So he'll be on the front row with Tyler Isley, so.
Yeah, Isley's gonna be having some nightmares.
He's probably gonna have a heart attack at the moment. I can tell right now at the moment the sweat's rolling down his face and his hair at the moment. This is where I'd be a little bit nervous even when you have perhaps the best car of the day. If I'm Tyler Isley, he's been trying so hard to make the playoff, to lock himself in. Free pass, by the way, I believe goes to Jimmy Barr in the 6th. Nope, that's a wave around. I don't know who gets the free pass, but honestly, who the hell cares right now at the moment? Anyway, real quick, before we go back to green, want to take this opportunity to shout out our sponsors, Speed Demon Setup TV and Graphics, as well as Elevated Outdoors, Butt Kicker, and Affordable SEO and Marketing. So we'll have 21 laps to go. When we go back to the green flag and Isley selects the outside line, that's where he's been good at all day. And again, watch this restart closely because we know Isley's been very good on the short run, but remember, Lacey's got the better tires. How will that help him out? He's going to have a lot more grip. It also takes a little while for the tires to get up to temp. It'll be easier for Lacey because he's got the better tire wear.
Yeah, I think was it gonna try to get a good jump. Obviously, probably not gonna play it too close. Risk getting a penalty, jump in the restart. But tires wise, you'd have to assume it's gonna be fairly straightforward for him. Just kind of hold the bottom and just ride it out.
Okay, so now we know what happened with Caleb McCarthy. We just had to rewind it a bit further. The engine blew up. So that was not intentional for those wondering at home. We thought it was a fuel issue because she hadn't pitted since lap 115, but that was not intentional at all. Just had to watch it a little bit more. So here we go. 21 laps to go. Isley takes off.
That was a pretty good restart for Lacey there. I don't really think it could have gone too much better. See how big of a grip difference there is here in 1-2. Doesn't seem to be much.
Lacey's got a toe down the back chute. And down on the bottom. Lacey lost a little time. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. With the Kayla blow up, you can't control blow-ups there. But when you blow up like that, when you think of that immediately, that's when you should get off the track. Do you agree?
I do, and she did a good job getting off the track, but with her blowing up, I'm just surprised she didn't reset.
I'm surprised she didn't tow back to pit road, yeah.
Yeah, that's a small sign of disrespect, but I'm sure she didn't mean it that way.
I gotta give credit though to Tyler Isley. Still has that lead with 0.4 of a second, but if this race goes caution-free to the end, this will help out Landon Lacey though by far.
Yeah, he's gonna have cooler tires, and that's, that matters a lot more than the wear, honestly. But one thing to note.
Okay. So, hang on. Sorry to interrupt you. Kayla actually just texted us saying the keyboard batteries died and was trying to tow.
Okay. Well, fair enough.
Yeah. So, but hey, Lacey's closed in. So we got a battle for the lead heating up.
But yeah, so the more tread that you have on a tire, the more the tread's working, and the hotter the tire gets.
Here we go. Inside for the lead. Isley led that time at the line, though. But can Lacey clear it?
I think it's, he cleared him easily.
Wow, what a pass.
Yeah, that was not too hard for him at all.
Fresher tires definitely worked there. And look at this. Isley shuts the door on Josh Aaron, who I believe has a faster car than Tyler Isley at the moment.
Does he have new tires?
He does. Same thing he did as Landon Lacey. Oh, Isley way loose in turn 1. Now let's watch Josh Aaron really closely here with 16 laps to go. Isley's in big trouble. His car just scraped the wall. It's really loose.
Yeah, he hit the wall midway down the back straightaway and almost got flung to the inside. Pretty lucky to come away from that one without being flung. But yeah, he's gonna be pretty upset right now. All drivers are gonna be after this kind of happening to him. But it's gonna be his job to bring his emotions in check, or make sure his emotions are in check, and just do the job that he needs to do and try to fight back and get a P2 here.
I know that Isley and Lacey have been the main story in all of this, but we got to give a big credit to Josh Aaron. His best run by far in a National Sim Racing League event. Currently running in second. Oh, great. Oh! Oh! Wow!
Yeah, Isley.
We almost jinxed them by far. That was insane.
No kidding. Well, Isley came off the middle there and just, I mean, dang near almost spun it. I'm not really sure what happened, but both did a good job keeping that one together. I'll definitely got to give them that.
That was an accident waiting to happen, much like the Dallas Cowboys. But
Ooh.
anyway,
Ooh.
as I was saying, Josh Aaron's had an incredible run, best run by far in this race. Currently in third position. Top 3 finish would be his best finish of the year. Steve Stripmatter, though, has other plans, though, reign in 4th spot. And Stripmatter's been a quieter one today. Go ahead.
That's right. Josh is going to have to drive his butt off here, and
Oh,
he is.
oh, man, almost got the wall again. And he's shifting, downshifted it to 4th. He did.
That's a bold strategy.
Yeah, and credit to Steve Stripmatter. Has one top 5, came at Twin Ring Motegi. Would be his best finish this season if he were to get this done. So 11 laps to go. Go ahead.
He's looking real good right now. I know we said that about basically everybody in the top 3, and then something bad has happened to him. But like we've been saying, put together a really quiet night, and those are usually the best ones.
We haven't been talking about this in a while. Is Landon Lacey currently 10 laps away from breaking your win record this season. Looking for his 8th win. But I'm not sure if I'd still be nervous, though, with all the blanking that's happening, because that could be a packet loss situation.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have a little bit of nervousness about that one. I remember I was leading the race by like 30 seconds in a league one time, getting ready to lap the field, and then I blinked out with like 5 to go and didn't win. So, you know, anything can happen Saturday.
Last time by for Steve Stripmatter, 30.82 for Isley, a 31.05.
And they're gonna look at the the results of this one and see Landon's gonna win, but probably more than 6 seconds, and everybody's gonna be like, "Man, nobody had anything for him." But it has not been the case. He's had a lot of really good competition out there, but to this point, he's been the only one to really put together a whole race solidly. Well, the same thing with Steve. But,
Absolutely. From 20th to 3rd for Stripmatter today as well, in addition.
That's right. That's hard to do. Pro guys make it look easy. Always try to start from the back of races and, you know, stroke the ego a little bit, as we say.
Yeah, Lacey, by the way, has the highest I rating of everyone with a 37.11.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sad.
Susie's the second highest with a 36.86, and he's currently in 17th out of the race.
Oh.
Josh Aaron, though, closing in on this battle for second spot. So this is far from over here, guys.
Yeah, Josh cooled the tires down, and now he's making another run at it. Honestly, it might be good for him to just kind of ride around on the bottom for the next like 2 laps and then really try to go hard at the very, very end. But I'm not in his race car, so I can't make those calls. But he's pushing real hard right now.
Absolutely. What are you thinking if you're Tyler Isley, seeing those 2 guys in the rearview mirror? You want them to go side by side?
In a perfect world, you definitely want to. But you're really just trying to play defense and kind of block wherever Steve goes and just kind of hope for the best.
Hoping for that high side to work off in 2. See if, Isley got the wall. I don't know if there's a bump there on the back straightaway that we don't know of. Isley loses 2 spots because of it.
I think more than anything, he's a bit perturbed. That's a good word. Um, that he's not running the pace that he would want to. And he's having to really work hard. So I think that's kind of getting to him a little bit. But definitely could be wrong with that. But that's what it seems like to me.
Isley trying to draft on Aaron while Aaron's trying to break it for third, and Steve Stripmatter is pulling away from all of this.
We gotta talk about my man Don back there too. He's
Don
fifth
DeGroot,
place.
oh,
He's right
wow. I didn't see this coming. Don DeGroot with 3 laps to go. What a run he's got going on so far. Looking at DeGroot's stats, looking for this would be his first top 5 finish ever.
Oh my goodness! Isley almost destroyed Josh down the back straightaway.
So they go at it for P3. And Don DeGroot's gonna pull a Brad Keselowski and go surprise, surprise. He'll be all surprised like, what's that one show on Showtime that was famous?
I have no clue.
Where that guy's a
No.
cop.
Gosh, I don't watch enough TV.
I don't know, me neither. But we'll watch that battle for third position closely. Can Isley hang on to a podium spot's the real question. Ice driving it as hard as he can as we're on the white flag. Aaron takes
Josh?
away third. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I had to side draft him a little bit there, and it worked. Now he's got a big gap in front of Isley. But he's
Final
loose on
lap.
the bottom.
For Landon Lacey, Ashton Crowder move over. There's a new wins king in the National Sim Racing League. Landon Lacey, win number 7 of the season. He ties it up. As they come off a 4 for third position, Aaron or Isley. Josh Aaron, his best finish.
Florida boy got him.
But it's Landon Lacey that, pardon me, ties up with Josh Susie and Ashton Crowder for the most wins in the National Sim Racing League this season.
Definitely be lying if that didn't hurt a little bit to hear that. But he's been putting together a really good season. Came in later than all of us and started putting on a show, and did just that tonight.
Absolutely. So we'll talk with your top 3 in just a moment. You love it for Landon Lacey, but you also hate it for Tyler Isley.
Yeah, he I don't want to say what's going on inside his head, but
Yeah.
I definitely feel like he kind of lost the mental game a little bit there and put himself in an unfavorable position, and ended up with him losing a top 3.
By the way, Ashton, you got the under right. We had 29 lead changes in that race officially.
Yes, sir. I'll be looking forward to my plaque in the mail.
Absolutely. So we will talk with your top 3 finishers here. We just got to get them all in here into our queue room, and we'll start things off. And we'll start things off here with our 3rd place finisher, Josh Aaron. Josh, your best finish in the National Sim Racing League. How does this one feel?
It feels pretty good to finally get a podium, but had to survive a whole lot of stuff tonight, and
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't know what me and Clark got into it. I haven't went back and looked at it, but he was holding me down low, and I don't know if I got loose or he came down on me, but hopefully with all that money he saves with getting free setups, he can go buy some better internet for next week. And then there at the end, I knew Isley was going to try to hold me low and block me, but I'd been going low all night, so I knew I could get him on the outside. I just had to let him try to block first and go around him.
How important was side drafting as well in those final few laps?
It was good. It was just trying to keep tires underneath of it. When somebody's your outside, trying to keep the tires underneath of it's pretty hard down on the bottom. So, but yeah, if I let him get by me, then it was a lot harder to get to him.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on your run tonight?
Oh, my teammates, man, keep me cool and kept me in it and were helping me with strategy. They were out of the race. Some of them were out early, and they helped out a lot. So I appreciate it.
Well, great job on this run tonight, man. Congratulations.
Thanks, y'all.
Josh Aaron finishes in the third position. We are still waiting for Steve Stripmatter to join us. But while we wait for him, he should be in the next few seconds. But while we're at it, Ashton, just your thoughts on the race of the moment overall. This was a fun one to call tonight.
It was fun. Both races that I've been able to call so far have been really exciting, at least from my point of view. Um, had good long runs at the end, good strategy. I mean, it's just overall a really solid race, really long. That's one of those things. League races are usually like 70 laps shorter than what pretty much every race we do here is. So that's another factor to it, and you really see at the end of the race who puts together the best night, and cream always rises to the top, as they say.
Absolutely. So we don't have a strip matter yet, so we can go right into victory lane and talk with your race winner, Landon Lacey. Landon, 7th win of this season. It wasn't easy, man. Just talk us through your race and those final few laps, getting by Tyler Isley, and also on that final yellow, using your final tire set when Isley had none. I think you knew you had this one in the bag.
Um, I mean, I think if that last caution didn't happen, I mean, who knows? Isley was closing pretty quick with those fresher tires. It'd have been nice to know to see if he could catch up, because I mean, I was having fun battling with him all night. So it'd have been nice to know if he could have caught up and we could have battled it out for the win. But yeah, it was fun battling him. Like I said, it was fun battling him all night. He kept it interesting for sure. But just the way things fell, it just fell in our court, I guess.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but you were 2 laps short of Isley in leading the most laps in the race. But overall, I want to ask you, was the high line perhaps the more dominant line tonight, would you say, in your opinion? And if so, were you able to run it well compared to Isley or not really?
He could run it better than I could. My car didn't really work on the top. So there's a couple of times where we kind of switched up lanes and he was on the bottom, I was up top. I was actually struggling. My car seemed to be able to wrap the bottom a lot better than for some reason I was a lot looser up top. I'll have to go back and see what the issue was there. But no, I don't really know, because a lot of people were running the middle or the top, and I seem to be the only one that was really consistently running the bottom. So I don't know. I have to look back at the data after the race, but um, just for my set, I was able to run the bottom better.
Next week, Talladega. I'm sure you and KTS have a strategy all set up trying to go for a win and another sweep of the podium, like I believe happened at Daytona last time out.
Um, I mean, we've talked about it. It just depends on how everything goes. But Talladega is such a wild card race. Anything can happen at any time, so everything's just gonna have to play out the way that we want it to play out, or we're just gonna have to, change strategy in the middle of the race. It just all depends on how that race goes.
Who do you want to give shout outs to on your run tonight?
Oh yeah, shout out to Edge Setup Shop as always, Martin Sports, everybody at KTS, also everybody over there at Posse Racing for their support as well. Um, Charge Racing, of course, big shout out to those guys. And other than that, thank you to everybody that's gotten me here to this point.
Win number 7, and you got to deal with the guy that has 7 wins as well in the broadcast booth. So congratulations on your 7th win this season.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Landon Lacey takes his 7th win on the year. We do have our 2nd place finisher with us, Steve Stripmatter. Ashton, why don't you take this one?
I appreciate it. All right, Steve. I mean, I just gotta say, I'm really impressed. You went from 20th to 2nd on one of the quietest nights I have ever seen from a guy, and I just want to know, how'd you make that happen?
Steve Stripmatter, you got a copy. All right, we'll wait on him at the moment. We won't drag him back in. We'll wait on him to see if we can get his we can get his audio all fixed up. But while we are at it, while we see if we can get his audio fixed, let's give you your official race results at the moment. Lacey wins it with Strip Matter second, Josh Aaron third, Tyler Isley fourth, Don DeGroot fifth, Dylan Clark sixth, Jimmy Barr seventh, Justin Diltz eighth, and the top 7 were the yellow ones to finish on the lead lap. Diltz and Crowell each finished a lap down. Mark Sikosi in 10th was 2 laps down. Stan Mayberry 11 laps down in 11th. Brian Preslar in 12th was 16 laps down. Briggswope 13th was 22 laps down. Caleb McCarthy in 14th. Tom Parra 15th. McCarthy was out of the race. Parra in 15th. Ryan Chapman 16th. Josh Susi out of the race. Same with Robbie Bice. And we give you the rest of the field here. Everyone else from 19th on back. Everyone all out of the race from tonight. Let's try and see if we can get Steve Strip Matter again. Steve, do you have a copy? We think he's fixing his stuff. He's muted and deafened all his stuff. Steve, you got us? Steve, try and check your settings and check under your voice and video. Make sure that your input and output are on the proper settings, the proper headset you're using or mic. So we'll see if he's got that worked out here. But Ashton, next week we go to Talladega. Of course, as Landon said, that's going to be a wild card, and anything can happen.
Yeah, it will be for sure. The plate races are always obviously really crazy. But with the new draft model and stuff being on these cars, you can kind of control your own destiny a little bit better. I think it's definitely going to be a big team game. So whoever works better together and has the numbers, I think, is really going to be in a good position. But it's just going to be down to putting all that together and being able to make it happen.
All right. Let's see if we can get Steve here one more time. Steve Strip Matter, Marty Sakala, and Ashton Crowder. Do you have a copy? And unfortunately, we don't. So, unfortunately, we will not be able to hear from Steve Strip Matter. So, we will log off here on this broadcast for tonight. On behalf of everyone at the National Sim Racing League, our admins in charge, Mark Sikosi, Justin Diltz, our race control director was Ethan Scott. And I, on behalf of my broadcast partner, Ashton Crowder. Oh, hang on. We got Steve. Sorry. Hold the phone. Ashton, get it.
All right.
Sorry about that, guys. I heard the question Ashton earlier. And I haven't been up in this position, so yeah, all this Discord and how to get on the channels and all this, I'm kind of struggling here. Kind of like my race, in the beginning, I did qualify so well. I tried something different. It did not work. And then I think it was lap 2. Somebody got in a wreck, went in the wall, and I tried to avoid it, and I got clipped in the rear end. And I said, oh, this could be a long night. But just kind of hung in there. Just kept going.
For sure. I mean, sometimes that is just how your races go. But we were talking the whole time just about how quiet of a night it was for you. Obviously, other than that, and that's really impressive. What do you think about the guys running the top? Was that something that you were really wanting to try as well, or were you more just stay on the bottom and keep things underneath you?
I was kind of between 1 and 2. My car, like it would break loose on me a little bit, so I was kind of scared. I was kind of hesitant in that corner a lot. I was all right in 3 and 4, but it just like in the middle was really about the best for me. Right, is the way the whole race went. If I went too high, I would push up towards the ball. If I went too low, I'd get a little loose. So right in the middle was what was working for me for tonight.
For sure. Were you off of 2? Because we saw a lot of it. Were you getting snappy loose off of there, but then tighten exit of 4, or tight exit of 4, and then snappy off of tight exit of 2, snappy off of 4. Is that something you were feeling?
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
Well, there you go, Marty. We got the answer on that one. So
Awesome.
must have been a win thing. You got anybody you want to shout out, Steve?
Well, Briggs over at DraftKings, wouldn't mind give him a shout because he recruited me over here. We're talking about I'm going to be on his team for next season, so I'm looking forward to that. So I'll give him a shout out for right now. He's been helping me out and teaching me some stuff. And other than that, I'm just privateering right now.
Yes, sir. Just trucking along, getting top fives.
Absolutely. Steve, we'll let you go. Great job tonight.
All right, thanks, Marty. Appreciate it. Thanks, Ashton.
Thank you.
For sure.
Steve Stripmatter finishing second. So that will wrap us up for our coverage. And on behalf of my broadcast partner, Ashton Crowder, Marty Sakala, saying so long from Las Vegas, where tonight Landon Lacey goes to the payout desk as he takes the win at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Thank you all for joining us. So long, everyone.